Hello and welcome to A Hair in the Garden. My name is Katie Hare, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about soil health. Before we get started, if you could do me a favor and like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would really appreciate it. Let's go ahead and jump in. In my last video, I shared the seed varieties I was hoping to start in August. As it turns out, I'm going to have to put those on pause because my soil is showing me signs of serious issues. This is going to be my second year gardening. I'm going to finish out this year, and it's my second season planting in this plot behind me. So I'm still pretty new to this and learning what needs to happen in order to make plants grow happy and healthy. Earlier this year, I wasn't even sure that I was going to plant a garden because I'm a new mom and I'm just really busy taking care of my son and working my full-time job. So back in the spring, without any soil prep whatsoever, I threw some seeds down in the ground and started a couple plants inside, such as my peppers and my tomatoes, and just kind of waited for things to grow. I was really pleasantly surprised when everything started sprouting, but really quickly, my initial excitement turned into disappointment. My garden produced a lot of really beautiful green foliage, but without a lot of fruit and vegetables that I was hoping would accompany it. The problem was I planted a lot of heavy nitrogen feeders, such as pumpkins, various types of squash, cucumbers, okra, and tomatoes. These are all things I planted last year, so my soil was already pretty depleted when I put those seeds in. While my plants put out, again, beautiful green foliage, my vegetable output was really stunted, and it ultimately petered out. My squashes put out a ton of male flowers and very, very few female flowers, and I hardly got any summer squash or zucchini, which are usually pretty easy to grow. My next red flag came with my in-betweeny season, so the seeds that I was talking about last week. Oh, hello, bee. When I tried to dig into my soil, it was extremely hard and compact and just was really hard to maneuver. In a recent rainstorm that we got, I noticed large pools of water filling up in the garden space and in areas that typically absorbed rain with no problems at all. So when planting, we want our soil to be really loamy. We want it to retain moisture and nutrients while still draining well. And right now, my clay soil is dense, to say the least. Had to move it inside because my phone kept overheating and it was just a pain in the butt. And now I feel ridiculous for wearing my sun hat inside, but I'm committed to the bit. So here we are. My final red flag, which led me to rethink all of my fall gardening plans, were the pests in my garden. So right now I've got vine borers, I've got cucumber beetles, bugs in my tomatoes, I've got squash bugs, I've got everything going on. And so while you're never going to completely rid your garden of pests, unless of course you use insecticides, which I'm never going to touch, you're never going to rid your garden completely of pests. But one of the best lines of defense that you can have in your garden is to have healthy soil, because healthy soil begets healthy plants, which are less susceptible to these pests. So here's what I'm going to be doing instead of planting seeds in August. First thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to let my garden continue to produce until it stops producing. I still want to get as much fruit and vegetables as I can out of the garden while it's growing. So I'm just going to let everything continue growing as it is. When it stops fruiting, when it stops producing, what I'm going to do is tear everything out at the root. I'm going to leave the roots in the garden, allow them to decompose, and again, try to add some biomass and some structure to my soil, help break up some of that compaction. One caveat to this is I'm going to tear out anything that has been infected with vine borers. Likewise, anything that has signs of infestation or is really sick, I'm going to pull completely out of the garden. And this is controversial, but I'm going to throw it in my hot compost. I wouldn't say to do this unless you know your compost is getting up into that 150-degree zone. You want to make sure that it is hot enough to kill off any larvae, any eggs that may be overwintering in those plants. You just don't want to bring them into your next season, put them in the soil, and then allow for a greater infestation to occur the following year. Next thing I'm going to do is add a layer of compost in my garden area. Now, one thing I want to mention is oftentimes people think that compost is plant food, and it's really not. Instead, it's more of a plant conditioner. It creates an environment in which plants can thrive. It gives them the microbial activity they need to be able to uptake nutrients into their roots and really give you healthy, nutrient dense food. But compost, in and of itself, is not plant food. So after my compost application, I am going to plant a mixture of legumes as well as a winter cover crop to try to add some nitrogen back into my soil. This has two purposes. The first, of course, is, again, like I said, adding nitrogen back into the soil. The second is I want to create biomass. I want that cover crop to create a mulch, which will then hold moisture in, hold minerals in, and prevent evaporation or solarization of my soil. The goal here is to break up that soil compaction, to add nutrients, add biomass, and ultimately nurse my soil back to health. In conclusion, this was not my plan for August. This was not where I wanted to be. I wanted to be planting this beautiful fall crop, but ultimately, I think these steps are going to go a long way to really enhance my soil health and to give me healthy crops moving forward. If you are a new gardener, be sure to take care of your soil health. Your garden will ultimately thank you. And thank you all so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video, do me a favor and like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thanks so much for joining, and happy gardening.